Hey, this is your girl, Coach T, and Coach G is out for the day, but I have my mother here, um, Miss Priscilla, and she's here with us today to share her testimony. I've been wanting her to share this for some time, and I'm glad that she chose to come on this platform and share. So, y'all know this is a no judge zone. There's a lot of people going through things right now, and she's doing this. We're doing this in hopes that it can help somebody else shed some lights on other parents, other children, other people that's going through certain situations. So, just a small introduction. I am a life coach, an author, and a motivational speaker, and all roads lead to Christ. So, we're just here to tell our testimony, which we all have one. So, if you have any words of encouragement or maybe how God delivered you from something, you can drop it down in the comment section. So, Mom, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm blessed.
Okay, that's right. So we just gonna jump right into it. Most of y'all know my story. Y'all seen my big interview on Unfiltered Stories a while ago, and I was talking about how I was brought up in the foster care system, as well as in my book, Fed Up, Changed Up Now What. I talked a little bit about it. But one thing when we hear stories from people whose parents went through what mine went through, we don't really talk to the parents. We always get the child side and the trauma that they went through. But a lot of times the parents is repeating the cycle of some things that happened to them or they experienced their own traumas. So without any further ado, I'm going to start it off. So I remember in the 80s, I was born in the 80s.
Yes.
I remember being with you on, what was it, Palmer or Palmwood Street? Palmer Street. I remember I was little, I was around Head Start, and I just remember sitting down, watching TV, and then all of a sudden, all these cops came rushing in the house. Okay, they had on tactical wear. They looked like army people. They had on helmets and stuff, shields. It was crazy. And then shortly after that, I was put into the foster system. So, Mom, do you want to explain? And we're not going to use no names of anybody on this show, but can you tell the people, first of all, how you got turned on to drugs? And what was your drug of choice?
Well, me trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to be cool like everybody else, smoking marijuana, and was at the bar. Then we had went down the street to our cousin's house, what have you, and it was somebody else there. They was passing around the weed. I didn't see it being rolled up or anything, but I was like, I don't even smoke weed. But then I was like, well, this is some good weed, And kind of find out they was putting crack inside of it. I didn't know it. And so that's how I got started smoking crack.
And how old were you when this happened?
I was first out of high school. I was going to college. Then after I started doing that stuff, then I slowly started drifting away from that.
So you had me. You were a teen mom when you had me. You was around 15 when you got pregnant with me. 16 when you had me, right?
17.
So were you doing any drugs at that point?
No.
No drugs at that point. So was this a party that you went to and somebody slipped something in your...
Somebody slipped something inside of the weed, and I didn't know it because I wouldn't do that stuff. And they were asking me something about, did I do this? And I said no, and I didn't even know what it was. They were showing me something, and I didn't know what it was. But I just said no, and I didn't want to know about it. I just know that it was bad. So they put it in the weed.
So,
go ahead.
So how did it make you feel your first time? Because I was watching, I love documentaries, y'all. Mm-hmm. And this woman from the Soul Train, she's one of the women we always see dance on the Soul Train. A lot of the Soul Train dancers went through things. This one was on hooked on crack cocaine in the 80s. She said that she heard the bells the first time. And she said that you spend that time chasing that same high, but you never get as high as you used to. But when you was smoking the weed, the laced weed, like how did you feel?
I really don't know. Well, at that time, I thought I was believing I was feeling pretty good, and I had to because I kept smoking it for years. So, one thing led to another. But you people slip you all kind of stuff and you don't know, but you're young and dumb, and that was me. I'm pretty sure we all done something at one time. When you're young, you do things that you don't know.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
when did you find out that it was laced?
Um, it took me a little while. And come to find out, I put two and two together, but it was too late. I was already hooked on the stuff. The guy that put the crack inside of the weed, he knew I had money, so and he knew I wasn't doing no drugs, from what he was trying to show me or what have you. So what I put two and two together, I said he was trying to get me to go out there and hoe outside to bring money in to get more drugs. I found that out later on in life.
So he was trying to get you to sell your body,
Right.
to feed your habit or his pockets, or both?
I guess both of us. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm assuming because it just makes sense to me.
So have you ever smoked weed before that? Before the laced one?
Yeah, I had a little bit, not really. I really didn't smoke weed. Like I said, I was just trying to be cool and hang in there like with everybody else.
But you knew it was a difference when you smoked
Yeah,
out.
I did.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to find out what it was. I just said it was good.
So when you found out that that was crack cocaine in there, what made you go back to that?
The drug, the drug itself, it does different people has different, you know, it makes people act different. Different people, it might make this person feel this way, another person feel that way. So that's just how it is when it comes to that drug.
Yeah, because speaking of that, there was a woman who sold her daughter
Oh
to the
my
drug man for a
God.
hit.
No, I
Sold it for a few
never
hours. Oh
ever
yeah,
do that.
yeah. You never did
I
that.
would never do that.
But you just said it make different people do
Yeah.
different things.
Yes. I'm not judging nobody, but I just know I would never do that.
Well, I'm glad you decided to, give us up in foster care rather than do some of that sick stuff that some other people have done.
Well, when you was little and when you looked up see all the police in the house, that's when my ex-boyfriend I was out of town at work and I come back and he had come to find out he had dope being in my house and all this stuff and y'all was in the room talking about y'all was hungry and I went the hell off on him. Excuse my language. I went off on him and I was arguing with him and then I was saying I was leaving and taking y'all with me. But it was too late. The police had just came, so they had to all the time while I was going to work out of town at work. He had to have this going on sometime because I was at work and I just couldn't believe that he would do that. And then for the police to knock my door down like that was amazing. That was shocking to me because that's never happened to me in my life. But that was because of him. He had people sitting around the tables doing drugs. Y'all was in a real hot bedroom talking about y'all was hungry. And he just had everything all crazy in my house. I've never done that before. And that was just a nightmare that I'll never forget. And I see that you haven't forgot that.
Oh, okay. Well, if you've been to 12-step programs, AA programs. I remember as a child, I used to go with you some of these programs. You've been clean, then you go back, then you clean, then you have went back. What is it that calls you back to it?
Well, when you like me, I would have a drink or two. Some people can drink a little bit, some people can't. They say that when you drink, then it make you want to go back to doing drugs. But mainly was when you go around negative people that's doing stuff, and you thinking that you're strong enough to do that. It's just a matter of time before you start back. But I didn't really like going to meetings. What really kept me together for the time that I have up under my belt is going to church. Um, when you find a really good pastor that you like and that you adore and everything like that, and that you feel at home with and believe in, then that was my strength. But everybody has their own strength. Some people like the meetings. Some people don't like me. I like more me myself. I like to go church, and a good pastor is what keeps me clean the longest.
Okay. So, okay. And I want to tell y'all something, y'all. I wish I had the pictures of my mom when she was younger. She had this Jerry curl and this little sexy pose like this, and just healthy and looking well. She had on a nice little white and yellowish outfit. My mom was also in the entertainment industry. She has worked alongside of stars like. You want to name a couple of the celebrities you've had a chance to work with and travel the road
Too
with?
Short, Nita Baker, Phyllis Hyman.
Short dog. Anita Baker?
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Yeah, Nita Baker.
So you don't get tired of me singing Angel when I go to karaoke, do you? I love that song, y'all. Yeah. You're my angel. My mama said I should pick a new song because I'm always singing that one, but
always, but it's still good though.
Okay, and now would you say that some of that road life influenced you too? Some of that fast life?
No.
My
boss kept me right by him,
okay.
Right by his side. He wouldn't let me go nowhere.
I'm just saying because a lot of celebrities.
He would yell at somebody, anybody come by the table where I'm working at, he would yell at them. Yes. Why are you over there? And he would just go off. Wow. God bless his soul, but he was
like a father on the road.
Yes, he was, exactly.
So I think this is important. It's something that you mentioned to me a long time ago, that you had the opportunity to become a professional singer.
Yeah.
But you chose other things. Can you share that briefly?
Well, once that drug started progressing more and more and more and more and more on me, like I said, it took me a long way. And I had like Climax, they called me and matter of fact, I was out of town with a group. I forget the name of the group, but we was out of town. They started studios and stuff. They were doing songs and everything. I let all that stuff pass by me. I could have been doing some things.
So Climax called you too.
Yeah. And my mom, she thought that somebody was playing on the phone when they called, but no. But then when she found out, then she was all shocked and happy and stuff. But then, besides that somebody slipped it inside of my weed. My own father was asking me did I know somewhere to go, and I didn't, but I knew one place, And then my daughter here, she was like 3 years old. My mother was cleaning up, and I was helping her, cleaning up. And I come back downstairs, and she's got my pipe. It's my smoking pipe that I smoke out of, all sitting in the middle of the table, and my eyes just bucked open, like. And I said, "Oh my gosh!" She said, "Tiara, my daughter Tiara right here. She went in my purse. She went in my purse, pulling out stuff, and that's how my mom found out. I told her I was gonna throw it away. Threw it away. Got another one from somewhere, but yeah, it's just something."
What are some signs? Now, I can tell you guys that when I was a kid, I did see somebody with some look like steel wool, curly steel wool in a sandwich bag. Then I found out years later at my school, there was a cop doing, he was kind of making us aware of what drugs look like on the street. And he had the same thing on the display table. And I believe that is a filter for a pipe, right? Yeah. For crack.
Yeah.
What are some signs that maybe a parent can look for in their young child, or a loved one can pick up on that their loved one might be on drugs or interested in?
Well, they always want to go. They can't be still. Can't sit still. They're always doing something, like with their hands or something. They twitching, and it's just something. So those are signs, and like I said, I was on the phone. I was out on the street and just moving around. It's just certain things that they wouldn't normally do with their body part, with their body movements and stuff like that.
Do they get more irritable? Like
if they haven't had enough, yeah, they're gonna get irritable.
Do you think they would steal from their mama?
Some will. I mean, I haven't, but some will steal from their mama. Matter of fact, the guy that had got me started on this stuff, it's just sad. His father, he was in the hospital bed in his house, and he couldn't move or anything, but he could see it. He knows what's going on. And so he went in there and he was stealing his wife's stuff right in front of his face, and that was sad. And that man could not protect his wife or his wife's things or nothing. And and that was just sad. He just always stealing her coats and rings and stuff like that. Then this other person, what did he do? Jumped on his grandmother, I believe. Jumped on his grandmother for some crack. I said, wow, it just makes you stop and think, but I said I could never do that. I mean, some people say never,
Yeah.
but me myself, I'm gonna say it. So maybe I am wrong for saying it, but I would never in my life do that. If you ever get to where you do something like that, think about jumping on your mom, she's elderly, your grandmother elderly, anybody period, you know it's time to check yourself.
Yeah.
Check yourself in or something.
So looking back, have you lost a lot of friends to that drug?
No, I've never. My friends, when I got to doing that stuff, I just stopped hanging around my friends because I didn't want to drag them down into this stuff. No, they meant too much to me for me to, and then I would be embarrassed because I heard the name crackhead and this and that, and I would never do nothing around them or anything.
But like people
So I
use.
lost them because I didn't want to be around them. I was being around the drug addicts.
Okay. And those aren't your real friends,
No,
those are
not
just
friends
like
at all. They're your friends if you got money. If you got money,
wow.
they would be your mama if you want them
Has, has God ever sent an angel to you while you were high
to.
or
Oh my
while you were on
God,
a beat?
yes.
What's one you can
I
recall?
was walking down the street, walking somewhere to a party or something, and then this guy he was walking behind me, and and I was walking towards this dead end, and he just attacked me, and so we up here wrestling, and I was on top of him at first, and then he got on top of me, and then he put his hands over my mouth and my nose, and I couldn't breathe. Then everything went black for me, and then he moved his hands. Then when my vision came back in, then he said, "I want to tell you a story about this and that, about this lady that was on drugs and some other stuff about drugs." And then he said, "I want to walk you down here." It was like a field, like a park, like, and the expressway was right in front of me, and I thought he was gonna throw me over the expressway, over that gate where the expressway was, but he didn't. He walked me to the gate, and after he told me that story, then his mind went somewhere else, and then he said, "How did you get all that dirt on you?" And then he started wiping me off, and I said, so therefore, I knew where his mind was at. His mind wasn't really there. So therefore, that made me get into his mind a little bit. So I had to try to think like him. So I said, I don't know how I got like this. Then I said, can you help me? I said, I don't feel good. I feel hurt. So I said, I asked him, I want to call an ambulance. I want to go to the hospital. Can you walk me to the phone booth? And he said, I said, I don't want to be by myself. And he said, yeah. So I had to limp all the way to the block down, and so he walked with me. So when he did, and I called 911, and then I was talking in codes to where he wouldn't know what I was talking about, and the police caught on, and they said you can't talk right. I said right, and they said well we're on our way, and they knew where my location was at. And then when they came, they arrested him, and then they said, come to find out, he escaped what's it called, a mental ward place. So heck yeah, I was blessed.
Escape.
I could have been dead if
Yeah,
God wasn't.
you were definitely blessed, even with how you said conceiving me came about. You know, when you met my dad, you were blessed.
Oh yeah, yeah, about to be kidnapped.
Yeah.
At the carnival,
At the carnival.
At the carnival, and my girl came with me, and she said, "Are you ready to go?" And the guy just didn't want to let me out the damn car. We were looking for some money, $50 bill. Yeah, $50. And I forgot how he lured me inside of that damn truck at the carnival. Yeah, and she said, "You coming now?" And I said, "No." I said, "No, you go ahead." I said, "I'm okay." And she knew better, so she went and got Tierra, my daughter right here, she went and got her dad. He carried to that truck, and he got me out of that dang old truck.
That's
Yeah.
good. But now, has has anybody ever told you like an angel figure you don't have, like somebody you never seen before, and they may have said you don't have to do this, or God is wanting you to do XYZ? Because when I used to get drunk a lot, y'all know my story, when I was 18, 19, and I was in the club that I frequent twice a week to do my karaoke. And this lady I never met before came, and she was saying, "What are you doing here? Your voice does not belong here. Your voice belongs in the church." I never seen her again. I felt like that was God sending an angel, because I used to do background music as well. I was always in clubs, but I was drinking a lot. And even though I was drunk when she told me, to this day I remember. Have you ever had a situation like that?
Yeah, I forget what it was about, but I know only I knew it.
Yeah.
And then with you, you took me to the Apostle on Junction. I'll never forget that. And he knew, and he said exactly what was going on in my home.
She thought
He
I
said,
told the prophet
no,
something. I said,
no,
no, I didn't. Then she said, well, you couldn't
no.
have, because he knew something you didn't even know.
He said, you don't have a house. He said, you have a place called a kicking spot. He said, you don't have it. And he was so right. And he said a couple other things that didn't nobody know but me. And then I just said, a light bulb just went ding. I'm like, he just had me in a daze when he said that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was
yeah.
amazed.
I was probably like 13. I felt so led for my mother to come, because we was doing like a 2, 3 night revival with this prophet, and he prophesied to me. And I know at that time I wasn't filled with the right spirit, because we was going to move from Ohio. I'm familiar with Ohio. My great grandmother was there. We was going to move from everything I knew down south. So I wasn't too happy about that. But he prophesied some stuff to me, and I felt led to tell my mama to come. And I'm so glad that she finally came, because at first it was like, I'll think about it. But she came. So I just want to say, if you have a loved one that's dealing with something, and you feel led to bring them over to greener pastures, invite them to church, or and do something nice for them, go ahead and do it. It may be your last time to do it. It may be the time that really helps bring them out. So don't just say, "Oh, my mama gonna say no," or my wife or husband gonna say no. You never know. That could be the time.
Right?
So,
That's
um,
right.
we getting ready to wrap this up, y'all. But I did. So there was a situation where your son, my brother, had seen. You think he seen something in your old house, and he said, I think he picked up a picture of your deceased husband and
Oh,
said, "Daddy said stop."
yeah. Yeah, after they passed away, my husband passed away. Then I had my three little ones, and they were in the room, in the bed, asleep. And so I was at the table doing what I was doing, and then my son came out the room. Well, I had a picture of their daddy on the chair, on the top of the TV, and he just came, he just walked out the room like he was in a trance or something. And he was like 3 years old, and he just walked. I called his name, and he didn't turn his head toward me or nothing. He just kept walking. He walked to the television and picked up his daddy's picture and put it in his hands, and then he carried it to me and held it up to me and said, "Mama, stop." And then that was that. Then he put the picture back. Then he went back there, and while he was out there, then the other one, Miracle, she was laughing like someone, as if someone was playing with her in there.
In the same house.
Yeah, same house. She was in the room. They were in the same room. So that kind of made me numb a little bit. It kind of messed me up a little bit. It made me think a little bit. So yeah, you have to be careful about being around people. You could be around somebody you could be at a birthday party, what have you, have some pop, um, and you can have somebody, you can have somebody with you that's your friend, as you call your bestie friend, and she might be jealous of you and you don't even know it. And then you leave your pop, leave your pop on the table while you go to the bathroom. You don't do that because they might put something. Because they might be jealous of you because maybe somebody is looking at them more than they're looking at them more than you, and blah 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 like
Right.
that. And that's how a lot of people be getting messed up with in the head. Like one of my girlfriends, she right now she walks in the street dancing at the gas stations and stuff, and she was one of my best friends. So she was drugged, like that. So you have to be careful. I don't want to trust nobody. Nobody.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
y'all know that's what
Yeah.
happened to me, my
Real quick.
friend. But so you got to be careful. Last question: if there is a parent that is angry or a loved one that is angry at their loved one, they just want to yell at the person. They just want them to get it. They just want them to stop. They're ashamed of them. Whatever. They want them to get off these drugs, and they don't know how to express that besides yelling and arguing. What would you tell them people?
You have to give it to God. Pray. Pray a lot. And me, me myself, I turn to music on stuff. I'm still dealing with that somewhat, but I just learned to ignore it and put it in God's hands. I mean, what can you do?
But the yelling, like, you need to stop drugs.
It hits a nerve. It might hit a nerve, make you go back out there and go use, but it's not. All that's going to do is make it worse.
That's what I'm
All it's going to do is make it worse.
I thought so.